You know, it's like whenever I think of immigration, I don't think for some reason I think of like people coming in, right?
Yeah.
People that want to move to the United States. But I'm
And
just
that's
saying,
a lot, and that's a big part of it.
Huge part
Right.
of it. I just, for some reason in my mind, and I don't know why, I just never think about the people that may have established themselves here, like you just talked about, and they've been here for so long, and for whatever reason, now they're being told to leave.
Right.
And they need a lawyer, and they need someone to help. I mean, to me, that's a very there's a lot on the line.
There's a lot on the line, and maybe not misconception, but something that people don't realize: permanent residents, green card holders, can find themselves facing deportation proceedings.
Wow.
For whether they've committed certain offenses or they've stayed outside the U.S. for too long, and now they're in front of an immigration judge to determine if they've abandoned their permanent residence. All those different types of things. And one of the other things people don't realize is that in immigration proceedings or like deportation proceedings, they're not criminal. So you have a right to an attorney, but only if you can afford one.
Wow. Oh, really? There's no indigent status
No,
where you get an
not
attorney
even
appointed
not
to you.
even for like unaccompanied children. And it's a civil-based system. It's admin, but it's not a criminal system. And so even though we have immigration detention facilities where people are escorted by guards and kept detained, and there's bond and parole proceedings and check-ins with ICE officers similar to a parole officer, it's not a criminal system.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Do you work with people like that are in the detention centers?
I do.
Really?
I had a deportation case that just wrapped up in October of last year, and then I had one the year before, and both of those were detained down at Chrome Detention Center in South Miami, like by the Miccosukee Casino.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you get contacted a lot by criminal attorneys who have a client that has in some immigration status
Sometimes,
issue?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll either and the best time for a criminal defense attorney to contact an immigration attorney is before accepting any type of plea.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Because they're pleading to one type of charge could have huge immigration consequences, where if it could get pled to something else, may not. And I think as of 2010, criminal defense attorneys have an obligation to at least advise their clients that this plea may carry immigration consequences.
Yeah. So when I was a prosecutor right after law school, I remember that. So here's my question. Okay. Yeah. Be honest. Okay. Because listen, there's some lawyers that are very good, some lawyers that aren't that great. Are you seeing it like a lot, a little, where the criminal defense lawyer didn't properly advise the person, hey, there's an immigration issue here. Like, let's talk to an immigration lawyer before you take the plea. Like, are you seeing pleas being taken and you're like, oh man, now I have to either unravel that or we're in a bad position?
Well, it's hard to know whether or not, you have your client telling me like, no, I didn't know this, but they sign off on something that says, I understand that there may be immigration consequences, right? But within immigration law, even if you can get it undone and reopened and pled down to something else, in immigration law, you have to prove that the reopening and pleading down wasn't just to be able to facilitate an immigration benefit. So even if you could reopen it or get it just whatever the remedy could be, you have to prove that it wasn't just to facilitate getting the immigration benefit.
Oh, so it
it has to be like either because there was an underlying issue with the plea or the conviction to begin with, or something more substantive.
All right, so for all the criminal defense attorneys that are watching right now, make sure they reach out to an
before
immigration lawyer.
pleading.
Reach out to you before they plead so you can take a look at everything, find out this person's status, and figure out what the best next step is. Cooperating with that defense attorney to help, this client.
Right, or at least to understand that, like, if they plead to this or get convicted of this is what the consequence may be. And also understanding that within immigration law, withhold of adjudication, a no contest, those are all considered convictions within immigration.
Oh, withhold of adjudication is also conviction. Mm-hmm. Wow.